Síndale.
Alright, Sexy Monkeys, we're on day 2 of the Predator franchise leading up to Prey, which comes out August 5th on Hulu. It's the 5th solo Predator movie and the 7th Predator overall if you add Alien vs. Predator 1 and 2. I just did a movie review for the original Predator movie, the fucking masterpiece of all action sci-fi movies. Now, it's up to the sequel. Can it deliver? Yeah. Nah. Little hit miss, but overall, for a good start to finish horror sci-fi Predator popcorn movie, it just barely gets through the whole movie, but I enjoy it. It came out in 1990. It's an R-rated, like I said, sci-fi action horror movie sequel, and it's directed by Stephen Hopkins. He directed A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5 the year before this, and they were so impressed he ends up getting the directing gig for this. He would also later do The Lost in Space, which came out in 1998, and one of my favorite fucking movies, Ghost in the Motherfucking Darkness, that came out in 1996. Love it. Screenwriters, they were written by Jim and John Thomas, brothers. They wrote the original Predator movies, so you get that continuation from the first movie. And of course, you don't get Arnold Schwarzenegger as Dutch in this. They actually so like kill him off. You know, they say in part of this movie, Keys, played by Gary Busey, said, you know, he's killed like 6 months later due to the radiation of the bomb, blah, 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 some bullshit. So Danny Glover is your Arnold, so to speak, in this movie. And, you know, he delivers. His acting from him and throughout the whole movie was pretty good. But it's the screenwriting, it's the script where it's like kind of cheesy cliche a lot of times. And the fact that you're in LA in this dystopian LA, like it, you're in the future in 1997, and it's a heat wave. You got the Colombians and Jamaicans going at it. The only cool thing about that is Keen Willie, dope as fuck. He does his speech, love it. Bill Paxton, great. Fucking everyone loves Bill Paxton. It still sucks that motherfucker's dead, but he is one of two people. Him and Lance Hendrickson were the only people to get killed by a Terminator. Predator, and yes, an alien. So that's cool. And Kevin Peter Hall, he's back again playing the Predator. He's that 7'2" big motherfucker that played the Predator in the first movie. So you get a lot of that back, and you get this guy named, well, his real name is Martin Downey Jr., and he plays at this TMZ type reporter, and he's kind of like the early Jerry Springer of the days. But really the plot of this is Danny Glover is trying to figure out why all these Colombians and Jamaicans are just getting killed, and they cannot figure out why. And then in doing so, his whole like detective crew gets killed one by one to the point where it's just a revenge. And it does deliver one of the greatest Easter eggs of all time, Easter eggs, at the very end with the alien, the xenomorph skull. Dude, because up to this point they had the Alien vs. Predator comics, so this was definitely a nod. First time ever in live action of these two. So, and of course, what you get next, at least for Predator, is Alien vs. Predator. So, it definitely was great. And it works out perfect because Fox at the time owned both. So, it's too easy to do. And I absolutely love that shit.
King Willie.
Who the hell is King Willie?
King Willie, voodoo priest of the LA posses. Ran the terror gangs for Edward Ciega in Jamaica.
essentially like the middle of this movie, the second act, is really the drag of this whole thing because it starts out opening like a dope ass shootout scene, 80s type action vibe. Even though it came out in 90, they filmed it in 89, but it has that action 80s vibe. Starting out, it's really amazing. But then you get in the second act, and it's just like, where are we going with all these characters? And it's just like, it's really sloppy. But then at the very end, pretty much it starts to pick up again at that meat locker scene, you know what I'm talking about, when the Predator goes through his different zones. Because in this, as a sequel, they add on to the Predator in like weapons. There's like 4 different types of weapons, and you now realize he sees more than just a heat signature like you saw in the first film. That meat locker scene when the Predator just kills all of like Gary Busey's, you know, his character's name is Keys. He's like a government agent that knows about the Predator, and they're trying to capture him to learn about him. And they're in there, and they just all get fucking slaughtered. From that moment on to the very end, that's when it's actually, oh, this ain't bad at all. Till the very end, when, well, I mean, it's not much of a spoiler because it's fucking been, 32 years. So when Danny Glover kills that Predator at the end, and then like a bunch of them comes out, and there's that real big one that's like has a cape on, and he gives him that gun from 1715. Fucking love that shit, dude. Love that shit. But really awesome part is that Easter egg. It's really great, but it does not live up to the first movie at all.
This thing that's killing your people and mine is from the other side. I can feel him all around. You can't see the eyes of the demon.
It's definitely a jump down. Really just to start, like, LA, the setting is just like urban, it's just, I don't know, man. I'm just right there, just, no. It's kind of like a Friday 13 movie without Jason, or Halloween without Michael Myers, Halloween 3 and Part 5 of Friday 13. It's like those movies. It's just, I'm not a fan of the setting. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right. But, I mean, it's just a good action flick. If you want an action flick thrown in a little Predator stuff, I mean, the Predator looked good. A lot of, actually you learn new stuff, which is fine. But overall, I'm giving it for a SkyGene score like 6.2 out of 10, which is like a B minus. I went between a C plus and a B minus with this. It's not as bad as a lot of people dog it, but I mean, it's nowhere near the top of the original movie. It's really not. But it's not that bad. I'll watch it any day for a Predator movie. Alright, Sexy Monkeys. I am moving on to Alien vs. Predator, the first one. Like I said, I'm leading up to Prey, which comes out August 5th on Hulu. Let's watch this shit together, guys. I'm actually really stoked. There's some good reviews out there saying it's really good. Cannot wait. All right, Sexy Monkeys. I'll see you whenever you want to watch the next video. Just subscribe, hit that ding notification, that little bell. It'll let you know when the next video pops up. All right, Sexy Monkeys.